Bluetti did send me this unit and wanted me to do a review of it. However, they have no input on what I did say, and I've been using it for months, and this will be an honest review if you'd like to watch this video. Well, I have 600 watts of solar for the Bluetti hooked up, so I upgraded my power station on the cart here to the Bluetti one. And you can charge it's got the wireless charging ports right on top. Just lay your cell phone on there and it charges. It's 2,000 watts, so I got another more wattage than my other one I had on there. And it's obviously 2,000 watt hours of storage too. But been charging all of our batteries on it here today. We ran the pressure washer off it the other day to wash the car. It's nice to have that much power available. And I really do like the wireless charging ports on top. It's not super noisy. The other one I used to have was a lot louder. We are powering this with the Bluetti right here. So I've been using this Bluetti for months now and featured it in several videos, but I never really went through any of the features or anything that it has on it. I do absolutely love it. I have several different solar power charging stations like this. This one by far is the best. It's the most power, it's the largest battery. Having 2,000 watt inverter on it is amazing. We use it exclusively on the tool cart, so I can take it around with me. I don't always have to have the solar panels with me, and then when I park it for the night, I can just, leave it charged up, and the sun the next morning usually has it ready to go before I need it again. I usually turn it off at night. Otherwise, it does have a considerable kind of just a drain just leaving it on. So I want to keep the power level up on it, so I shut it off at night. But it's got a whole bunch. There's 6 110 outlets that are on it, and they have these little weatherproof covers. And this thing gets wet a little bit, and it's been great. It's held up really good in the weather. I do have a little shelf that's above it that stops the direct rain from it, but it gets some moisture and some mud, and you can see some splashes on it. But these protective weather covers are really nice that are on it. But I have had 6 things plugged in at once here, between all the tool chargers. I have my DeWalt stuff, I have my Milwaukee stuff, I have some Cobalt stuff, and then between flashlights and all kinds of stuff like that, running power tools. We ran the pressure washer many times off of this, the shop vac we've run off of it. We've run battery chargers off of this to charge bus batteries up. The Hilti drill we ran off of this when we were doing all those 158 concrete anchors that we had to drill. So it really is. The 2,000 watts is great. To turn the AC power on, like when the user interface on it, like it doesn't automatically just turn this stuff on. You have to kind of see this LED screen in order to do that. And then you push the button on it there, and like here I'm gonna turn it off. That shut off my AC power. But when you're out in direct sunlight, this screen is very hard to read. That would probably be my biggest complaint about this unit, is how hard it is to read this screen. I wish if you just turned it on, maybe if it had a physical switch that you could turn AC and DC power on and off without having to use the touch screen. It does tell you, how much is coming in through the solar charger and that kind of stuff on these monitors, and how much usage is going out. There's all kinds of settings and things that I've never really gone through on there, but DC on. I had that on because I was charging this flashlight that's over here, and then my O-light was charging a little while ago too. So I can go ahead and turn that off. And then this is the power button on it here. One thing I don't like is you can't have it off and also charge from the solar. So if it's kind of a gloomy day and you want to leave the solar panels on, the standby mode might actually use more power than you could bring in from the sun. So you can't just plug the solar panels in and have it charging the battery without using any of that standby feature stuff. It automatically turns the unit on. So it doesn't turn on the output side of it, but it still has internal stuff that's running, and there's a fan that's keeping things cool. So if you don't overcharge it, the charging creates heat. So I understand why it does it, but I don't really care for that feature. Also, the solar panels, I have 600 watts of panels that came with it. That's 3 different 200 watt panels. They are a little inconvenient to set up, but you have to, a lot of times I'd like to just have one of them so I could just be charging at like a 200 watt rate, but the 200 watt isn't enough voltage to charge. You have to have at least 2 of their panels hooked up in series in order for it to charge, otherwise it doesn't recognize them. So it'd be nice if I could just have one panel hooked up and then doing it. But and you can hook up any kind of solar panels to it, so you don't necessarily have to use theirs. But it is a really good unit. It has all of these USB plugs on it as well. That's a regular, the PD type, I don't know what you call that, charging thing. This is the 12 volt for that style, and then there's also the 12 volt regular cigarette lighter that's in there. And then it has the 12 volt outlet that's that style too. This is the style they use for their charger as well. So anyways, 2,000 watts, it handles a lot of power. It stores a lot with the 2,000 watt hours of battery storage. So that means you can run something that runs 2,000 watts for an hour continuous on it. And it would take you probably most of the day to charge that back up in the sun. So, you can't run something 2,000 watts, 8 hours a day. It doesn't work that way. But for intermittent use of stuff, running the vacuum cleaner for 10, 15 minutes, that's no problem for it. Things like that. So it's a great power unit. This is my favorite by far. Oh, and it does have the cell phone wireless charging. There's two of them on top. You just lay your cell phone on there. Mine doesn't work very well because I keep it in a case and it's very temperamental on there. But it is a neat feature to have. It's got the big handles on the side. It's easy to carry, although it's heavy. Okay, so now let's talk price. This thing is not cheap. On Amazon, it's around $1,600, maybe $1,620, I think is what I just saw it on there for. So it is not cheap. That does not include the solar panels. The solar panels are extra. So if you're looking at buying a 2,000 watt good generator, you're probably only looking at maybe, $500-600. The Honda ones are maybe $1,000. But you also have a lifetime worth of gas to put in there. But a regular gas generator, you can run 8 hours a day, just keep putting gas in it. This, you never necessarily have to. It does come with a external power where you can charge it from a 110 outlet, so you're not always limited to just using solar power. I've only used the regular charger one time on this. I just use solar for everything. But again, the price is really high. But for what you get, power-wise, I think it's better than the other units that are, I think I had a different brand that was 1,000 watts, and it was around the same price. So, keeping that in mind. So they are expensive. Don't be fooled by that. But again, never having to buy gas for it and things like that. In the long run, it's more environmentally friendly. It is a lot more convenient. You can run it indoors. Generator you can't. So it's plus and minus on things, but price is definitely a big sticker shock on it. So I don't want you to think that it's $200 unit, because it is not. It's $1,600 give or take. And then with the solar panels that they sent, well, you can use any solar panels though, so you don't necessarily have to use those. But the ones that they sent, I think it comes up to close to $2,500 with those 600 watts of solar panels, which is a lot of money for solar panels for 500 watts of panels. They're portable, but it depends on what you're going to use it for. If you go camping a lot and you want to have the power to cook and stuff like that, this would be something that you could have to do that and keep all your phones charged and everything like that.